This first song is called "The World Don't Owe You a Thing." I co-wrote it on a Nashville trip with Phil Madera. High-class heritage, big old silver spoon, sugar daddy who would buy you the moon. Always talking about those dreams you're gonna chase. If it weren't so inconvenient, you would get back in that race. Well, forget regret, see what you can do. Oh, give something back, 'cause it ain't about you. You never know what life's gonna bring, yeah, yeah. The world don't owe you a thing. Feet propped up, drink in your hand, a hanky full of teardrops, 'cause you wish you had a man. Well, lose your illusions about how it's supposed to be. And if you're gonna keep complaining, girlfriend, please stop calling me. Well, forget regret, see what you can do. Oh, give something back, 'cause it ain't about you. You never know what life's gonna bring, yeah, yeah. And the world don't owe you a thing. Oh, yeah. Looking in the rearview mirror, it's how you live your life, but you wanna get most places, you gotta learn how to drive. So open up that sunroof, baby, roll those windows down, let the wind blow through your hair, honey, turn your life around. Oh, it's time. Oh yeah, it's time. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Do-do, 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 do-do.
Thank you. Wonderful. So you're not doing gigs up here. You're teaching.
Yeah, I'm doing a clinic tour.
That's an interesting take on it.
Yeah, well, that's what
They pay
that's
you
what they
to-
call it. Yeah, I have sponsors, and they.
Give me so close to the mic.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I've got sponsors, and they're paying for me to come up here and do some teaching.
Well, great. And you're going to be a workshop at Jansen Music.
Yeah,
And-
today at 3:00.
3 o'clock. And then there's one in San Jose, Emeryville, Redding, Chico, and Sacramento.
Yep.
So what do you teach? And then you say it's this guitar for girls. What's the difference between guitar for boys and guitar for girls?
It's, yeah, my workshops are actually not just for girls.
Oh.
The book that I wrote for Hal Leonard is called Guitar for Girls because they wanted a book for girls.
Yeah.
But when I talked to them, I actually was kind of, reticent about doing something particularly for girls because that's not, I'm a feminist and that is not how I was raised, that girls need a different guitar or different way of learning than boys. But when I thought about, well, that's what they want. They wanted to reach girls. So I started thinking, why do they want to play guitar? And a lot of girls, when they start out, they're not like I was. I wanted to be Jimmy Page. And,
So how are you doing at that?
yeah, well, if you go to my website, you can see me do Black Dog, and I do pretty well with it. I do pretty well with it. But along the way, I kind of discovered songwriting and singing, and fell in love with those two art forms as well. So, working on all those, that's kind of more what girls in general, as a generalization, they really want to be Taylor Swift or Jewel more than they want to be Jimmy Page. So I when I focused on writing this book, I was really concentrating on aspiring singer-songwriters. And it doesn't have to just be for girls, and that's what the workshop is really aimed at. Anybody who wants to be more creative, anybody who sings, who plays guitar, who writes. It's really to encourage people and really to encourage that beginner's mind, even in people who aren't beginners, because I know as a professional musician, it's so easy to get really caught up in where we are and what we're doing and to forget kind of the wonder of everything and creating and how amazing that is and to really get stuck in our goals.
Wow. That's a interesting take on teaching people guitar. You don't actually have to pick it up. You got to get the right attitude first.
There's so much more about attitude, yeah. And I guess I'm drawing from my own, my own childhood and my struggles with the guitar, because I was such a perfectionist. And when I picked up the guitar, it was also kind of I was really like a metal child of the of the 80s, and I was really into all this wanker guitar stuff. But it was all about being perfect. And it was all about hitting every note. Yeah. And that really stopped me. And I quit playing several times when I was young because I just thought I wasn't good enough and I wasn't born good enough. And the reality is, it took a guitar playing boyfriend of mine to finally tell me until it sunk in, you've got to be willing to suck. And then if you keep playing through that and you don't quit, then you get good.
I think that's really great advice.
I wish someone had told me that when I was 12. So that's like my mission, is to tell people it's okay to suck. It's okay. You'll get good, but you've got to just push through that
sucky period.
And it couldn't last years. Because when you start off as an artist, actually Ira Glass has this great quote that I read at every workshop, and it's about when you start out as an artist, you have this knowing and you know how you want to be, but you're not there yet. And that can be very discouraging. So you have to just keep believing. Like, you have this talent that you need to develop, and you have an ear for it. And that's why it's so frustrating when at first you're not reaching it,
So if somebody wants to go, and I'm sure you inspired people to go to the Jansen's one today. It's at 3 o'clock. And what do they do if they want to go?
They just show up at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jansen music right here.
Everybody's welcome. Not just girls, not just boys, not just young people, old people too. People who might have picked up the guitar when they were 15 and then put it down. It's really fun. I like to encourage questions too. So we like to get everybody involved.
All right. Well, go to your computer and look up Jansen Music, Jansen. And while you're doing that, would you do a song for them while
sure.
Looking up things on the computer song?
Sure. Looking things up on the computer song. All right. Well, this is a song from my first album. It's called Distance, and I think since we did bring up Jimmy Page, I might try to sneak a little bit of Zeppelin into this song. I actually do a whole set sometimes where I put just a little bit of Zeppelin into every one of my original songs. So we'll see if we can do that here. I kind of like knowing the phone's always for me. I kind of like not needing a referee. I kind of like taking control of the remote. And I kind of like casting the one and only vote. But still, from a distance the sweet outweighs the bitter, and the right outweighs the wrong. From a distance I think I'll forgive you, and I won't stay away too long. I kinda like no compromises, and I kinda like not explaining why that is. I kinda like letting down my guard, and I kinda like not always trying so dang hard, but still, from a distance the sweet outweighs the bitter, and the right outweighs the wrong. From a distance I think I'll forgive you, and I won't stay away too long. times been bitten, many times I've gazed along the open road. Many times I've lied, many times I've listened, wondering about the things I really ought to know. Oh, you know I should, you know I should, you know I should know. The way you hold me when I cry, and I'd kinda like to give us one more try.
So you live in LA.
I do.
Do you play there a lot?
You know, I don't play out as much as I'd like to, but I'm just writing my 4th record right now, so hopefully once that comes out, I'll be playing a lot more.
Yeah, and you tour the country too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've gone to Australia a couple times as well.
Oh, great.
Love Australia. Yeah.
Next time go to New Zealand too.
Yeah, I was just there on vacation. I didn't get to play in New Zealand, but
What a place,
it's
huh?
amazing, yeah.
Well, we got time to do one more here if you'd like to.
All right, great. This one is called Breathing Underwater. I found you on your island, warm and dry. You never waded over waist high. And my home is far from shore, and the current runs strong. I cannot stay in shallow water for long, 'cause I'm breathing underwater. I'm not fighting for air. I may drown in the deep, but I don't care. I love you, you love me, but I cannot make you swim with me. Oh, my skin is glistening, listening to your light. Beside me on terra firma, explaining why. For a few precious moments, I felt alive, and I don't know how, but I know I'll survive, 'cause I'm breathing underwater. I'm not fighting for air. I may drown in the deep, I'd rather dive in over my head, in over my head, in over my head. Oh,
Ali Handal. And you can go to alihandal.com and get all the information you may want. And you can go to Jansen Music today at 3 o'clock and meet her in person and go to her class.
Thanks so much, John.
Glad to have you here.
Thanks.
Good luck on all of these shows you got coming up.
Thank you.
All right.
High class heritage, big old silver spoon, sugar daddy who would buy you the moon. Always talking about those dreams you're gonna chase.